performance on both sides. It's forced mistakes that we see there, and that's what makes these games so attractive to watch.
They're so fun to watch. Let's go to game number 4 and watch another here. As we're picking up our battleground, it's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. The choice going to the Zealots as Team Liquid will elect to take first pick. First time seeing Tomb for us?
Yep.
Yeah.
First time Tomb. And it's going to be interesting to see what we have here now, because it's also a pick from the Zealots, whereas Liquid is one of the teams that really love to play Tomb for a long time. I mean, maps going to change a little bit which priorities a team has on maps compared to last year, simply because we had so many changes, not only in the meta, but also, of course, with the lineups as well. So definitely something to keep in mind, but it's pretty cool that we are seeing Tomb now chosen by the Zealots.
For me, I am curious to see if the same type of approach to Tomb of the Spider Queen is what we see today that we saw in 2017, which was the double web weaver turn-in to get a large lead.
I can answer that, yes.
The answer is yes. I was wondering, with supports kind of falling off a little bit and more wave clear coming a little bit more prominent, maybe that'd be more manageable, but apparently no, as Caldor has dropped the knowledge bomb on us. So let's see if Team Liquid and Zealots can handle that first couple of turn-ins that will be coming their way.
I mean, there's overall still a few changes, but this is still one of the main ideas and the main concepts, especially when you're looking at the European style of playing the map. So, of course, the meta still has shifted a bit, but you can already tell that with the ban on Genji now, very highly prioritized, that he even shines on this map more than others. We always talk about how strong he is, how you want to also make sure that if you play Hanzo, that Genji is banned out. But on this map, Genji is more dangerous than on a lot of other maps, just because he is so quick transitioning between the lanes that you can never feel safe if you are on a solo lane, for example.
Especially that bottom lane, that solo laner that you're talking about. Sonya against a Genji on this battleground is annoying. You cannot be the bully that you're so accustomed to being on every single battleground. Even a Malthael has to be really careful, so I agree with the Genji ban right away. Now, what will the Zealots take away from their opponents? Are they worried about a first pick ETC?
To be honest, another hero where you could... Hanzo, Greymane are probably the two that I have my eyes on right now. Abathar is something that you're usually not too scared of when you're talking about Tomb, but they go into this Uther ban again that they also chose on the last map. Really a little bit worried about what he enables, and leaving Hanzo open, and also, of course, in this case, Greymane and ETC, which could actually be the opening pair for them.
Hanzo Atori, the pickup here for number 1 for Team Liquid. All right, Zealots, what are you going to get? I know you just mentioned possible pickups.
Greymane was actually be something I would really like.
ETC 100%. But Greymane's always wonderful here. Any other options that kind of surface that we could think about? Not really. It's in the meta. I mean, there is Gul'dan be on this battleground. There are pickups, but I feel like Greymane is definitely the pickup with Hanzo being there. You want that dive potential.
I mean, Gul'dan is a really good option, though, because we come back to that. First of all, Gul'dan is amazing for wave clear overall, but also Horrify. And whenever you try and dive on Hanzo, he can come in with a Horrify and can turn an attempt on Hanzo's life into a counter kill. So that would work. So that would definitely be the third one that I would really think about if I was in Zealot's shoes here.
Well, time to come down. It's going to be the Greymane ETC.
Okay.
Well, Team Liquid snap pickup. The Gul'dan here. We had it a few times yesterday. This is a battleground that feels like you have to move into him if you have the option. I also wouldn't mind seeing Lucio grabbed as well on this battleground. The rotations that we talked about with Genji become even more apparent with Lucio rotating around the map.
Also Arthas. If you talk about, we could see something along the lines of having Arthas together with Lucio maybe even early on, or also trying to take Rhaegar away from Zealots. They have been playing with Rhaegar nearly every single game. So if you feel that you need more of a panic button for yourself with the removal from Uther, Rhaegar becomes even more so attractive.
Sure.
It's really just that question. If we assume that they play Arthas and they don't, they actually go into Gul'dan plus Rhaegar, so they leave the tank open. But Arthas as a counterpart to Greymane would maybe have made them lean a little bit more towards Lucio over Rhaegar. But as I said, Zealots had a high priority on playing Rhaegar so far. Your Uther is banned out, so now going into Rhaegar yourself provides you with a panic button. And also takes it away from the Zealots. Since they used that a lot whenever someone stepped out and was in a bit of trouble, they always had Chat there to save them and allow them to fight another day. If that option is taken away from them, that could put the Zealots in an uncomfortable position in these team fights.
This is my favorite part of Best of 5 series, by the way. Watching what's important in draft kind of get mitigated and change the priority while you start to deal with what your opponents are grabbing often. The Rhaegar pickup here on the left was brilliant, as pointed out by Caldor. Gul'dan being a hero, it's wonderful on this map in particular, and you're taking away from your opponent. And now we have the Chromie and the Johanna ban. Johanna was something that we saw from Team Liquid often in 2017 on this battleground. They love the control, the ability to be able to be near the turn-in point and stopping it, but also getting that minion experience. So Johanna ban makes sense, especially with the Chromie ban. This is just wonderful.
And for Zealots now at this point, again, the solo laner is where we have to ask once more, what are they going to go for? Do we see Sonya? Are they going to head into Malthael, for example?
Sure.
We know we've talked about exactly the same two heroes on the last map already, since we know that Zarmany really loves to play them. Malfurion and Junkrat this time. Okay.
Ooh.
Junkrat, of course, first of all, great wave clear, and also, again, able to create these opportunities that he can use by simply pushing someone out. And any kind of mobility in that sense, any kind of displacement is always really sweet if you have someone to kind of lock a target down. So if Junkrat at any point gets that opportunity, there's also a double follow-up with ETC and Malfurion, roots and stuns available to lock the target down and deliver the kill.
The other point, too, is Gul'dan. His health pool is precious. It is a quality resource. Any grenades that might be connecting with the Gul'dan makes it harder for him to tap in his own life pool to be able to get that mana, which can be a bit of a stress for Rhaegar to deal with. Also, if he ever tries to drain life, typically if you see a Gul'dan get caught out, two things he'll either do. Turn around and drain life if he thinks he can survive through it and get his teammate to help out, or drop the Horrify. If he goes with the drain life option, you have the immediate knockback from Junkrat to stop that from happening. A great pickup here for the wave control and what he does against Gul'dan.
Muradin chosen. So a main tech here for now. And Malthael, okay. So the pick on Malthael also making sure that it can't be taken by the opponent. Team Liquid is drafting with this very... They're drafting... It's a nice comp for them, but they also take a lot of the comfort picks and the options that the Zealots like to use away from them. So I really like the way they're going with this.
Sonya is up and available. Do you think that'll be the final pickup here for Zarmany? Or will we see something new from him?
It could definitely be. To be honest with you, I really think that at this point they were thinking about, okay, let's see if we just simply drop Malthael.
Yeah.
But as we see Team Liquid go for Muradin, they of course know that this is a highly contested pick for the Zealots, that they are likely to use that on a map like Tomb, and then they immediately pick it for themselves. And I think that forces the Zealots now into... I'm actually a bit curious. I mean, in general, you would have said, okay, Arthas might be an option here as well. Malthael now going up against an Arthas and potentially ETC might change that. Can still drop Leoric in there. Sonya, I like Leoric over Sonya in this setup, I have to say. He's still the one that can hold two lanes as well. He has a bit of an easier time escaping there too. And so yeah, I think Leoric is a good option.
Yeah, and Tomb optioning gets a Gul'dan. Hanzo as well, you can lock him down. Rhaegar too. So Leo, for the final pickup, and as we move to game number 4, this is actually our first time playing this game. Who wins the draft, Caldor?
At this point, I really like what Team Liquid has. And I wouldn't mind a 5th map, so I'm going with Liquid here.
Liquid has been called by Caldor. I think I have to agree here. Malthael, a bit of a pain for both the Leo and the ETC on that front line. Junkrat is going to be a nice mitigator, especially when you have the Malthael going for that engaged Tormented Souls. If you can knock him or even drop a trap down and have your team kind of walk away from that fight, it's always wonderful for those team fights. But I think I agree. Just looking at the battleground, Team Liquid has so much wave clear, a lot of poke, and the ability to turn in.
We had so far only one Junkrat game, by the way, and that was a loss.
Leftovers, right?
Yeah, and the interesting part, which I actually didn't pick up on until now, Muradin hasn't won a single game yet. Not one. Like, we saw him today and he lost, and we saw him yesterday as well, and we don't have a single game where Muradin was successful so far. So that might change now, but at this point, he's still sitting at 0. So when we talk about the tank meta, we have very, very clear winners and very, very clear losers at this point.
Well, let's see if Sportbilly can change that here and give the bearded man a victory. Let's move into game number 4, Team Liquid taking on the Zealots.
And we have to the left side of the map, once again Team Liquid now down 1 map in the best of 5 series. We have Hazops on Gul'dan, Nurok on Hanzo. We see Sportbilly on Muradin, Splendor on Rhaegar, and Eternal on Malthael.
On the right side in the red, the Zealots. ADRD will be playing a Junkrat. Shad will be playing the Malfurion. Gonna have Chris playing Grey Main, Zarmony on Leoric, and last but not least, Mopsio on your ETC.
Now, it's still early, of course, in HGC 2018 for Euro, but it's interesting to note, as we said before, Muradin has not won a game so far in HGC Europe. But as we're looking at Malthael, Malthael is sitting at 100% win ratio. Has only played 2 games so far, but in both of them, he played a huge role and was tremendously important for the victory. One of those 2 stats is, of course, going to change after this one. But Malthael definitely right now, with the meta and the tanks as they sit, having a pretty big impact on games.
That they will. So let's watch our lanes here. Malthael versus Leoric will be down in the bottom lane. And I have to watch out for the ETC movement the Malthael is going to have too, because that's where you want to get those pickoffs. Get the power slide on the Malthael, have the root follow up from Shad, and hopefully with Chris diving in, you're able to get that kill right away. Team Liquid, on the other hand, will be playing around their gold dam. They want to clear out lanes and allow Muradin to get those Stormbolt stacks while also holding that front line.
Mopsio again on his ETC. ETC, like, Cow is the one that is so far the big winner in the tanks for sure. And at this point, I just want to know if once again Mopsio is able to deliver here, because he played some very impressive games, especially compared to last year on the Hero, and is apparently really doing well with this setup and with this team that is still pretty new. I had a couple of very solid changes. Liquid is of course under a lot of pressure, but for me the one hero that I really feel this is going to have a massive impact for them is in particular Gul'dan. I really think this is a huge game changer on this map in particular, where Liquid could just pull away from there.
For me, my eyes are on Junkrat. I want to see how effective this Junkrat can be. Can he get the knock-ins that he wants in the team? Granted, those are something that you can't rely on, as we discussed yesterday. The wave clear is the main reason why you're picking him up. But a Junkrat that is able to dupe their opponent into walking into a trap, into getting knocked into the team fight, usually gets their team into a situation where they win the fight right away. So I want to watch ADRD here and see how he, who normally plays the awkward heroes or the different heroes, see if he can excel at them.
But look at his build here. He has extra wound timers on level 1, which is already interesting. So that makes the frag launcher grenades last an extra 2 seconds.
Oh,
but
man.
Normally we have put some English on it as the main talent here. So that is like the main pick on level 1 that we have so far observed when the hero was chosen.
Well, those can be an annoying pickup around the turn-in points, as the area effect is actually bigger where they explode, so if you're anywhere near them, you get delayed, constantly sitting there for a couple more seconds, allows for him to reload, get a few more shots in. It will be interesting to see how that pays off for him, but I can see the mindset behind it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's like necessarily a bad pick or a bad talent choice here. It's just interesting that once again, ADRD delivers with a
different.
A slight personal touch to how he plays the hero.
I feel like that should be ADRD's tagline. I'm ADRD. I'm just different.
It's going to be his new Twitter bio.
I hope so. Someone needs to update that, by the way, for being on this team. All right, so some poke already happened from our teams. Tied up in experience, 6-5 3/4. HossWop's doing a pretty good job of clearing up, but the major difference in our teams right now is the turn-in already for Team Liquid. They have dropped off 38 gems. Ooh, but a possible pick on Nurok. Oh, he's able to bound away as HossWops comes in for the damage.
But it shows also the strength of this lockdown potential with Malfurion. And we have highlighted that on the last map where Team Liquid was the one to combo Malfurion off with tanks and pre-stun. If you think back to last year, granted, double support better, of course, being very dominant. Back then, we had Malfurion nearly exclusively played, that was before his rework, on this map. So already back then he was super strong on Tomb of the Spider Queen, simply because of the interrupt potential and also of how dangerous and how threatening you can be with rotations between those lanes, the short distance between them, and trying to get a lockdown into CC and then take the town with the hero part. And that's exactly what they're trying to do here. And it's what put so much pressure onto Nurok. And I think later on is also going to be very difficult for HossWops with his Gul'dan to stay alive through that.
Nana will be, especially with Mopsio on that front line looking for those fights. But so far, Team Liquid's doing a good job of controlling the space around the turn-in point. It's been quite difficult for Zealots to get in there. Mopsio, every time he tries to go in for an engage, is down to 50% health. But as I say that, he finds a way to move in. He jumps on a Eternal. A Cleanse will come out to help him, and he's able to dash away. But still, that's Cleanse down for another 60 seconds.
Yeah, Eternal with a very good escape, though. So he was able to move out of this. I thought for a second that this would be more or less a guaranteed kill here. But Eternal will have a very big impact on Malthael if it comes to that late game. Malthael definitely one of those characters that has great scaling once he completes his quest talents as well. And for now, Team Liquid gets the first Web Weaver wave. So slight advantage in experience for the Zealots. Liquid should easily be able to make up for that. But they are currently the ones who to initiate the aggression on the map itself.
So we'll see what they can do with this. Typically around level 7 to 8, you're hoping for a few turrets. All 6 turrets would be amazing. Or even a fort pickoff would be great, but there hasn't been too much of a setup for a fort play. So I'm expecting a few turrets here. And in the middle, Team Liquid agrees. They got the turret on the bottom side, working on the turret on the top, and they have Hanzo already pushing in the top side as well, so they should be able to rotate as a unit of 4 up there to secure said turrets. However, Zealots are having a hard time clearing this out. Even with that level 4 talent for Leoric, Eel Peasants, they aren't clearing it up.
Yeah, in the mid lane, they are definitely struggling. At the bottom, we saw Greymane defending quite nicely and Junkrat now too, but here in the middle, it's a bit of a different story for them. And now it's a 4 versus 4. Zarmany far out here needs to be a bit cautious. It's always a problem that if you lose heroes at this point, you lose also a fair amount of gems as well. So overall, Team Liquid has taken a lot. They took a lot of structures, mainly turrets, haven't dropped a fort yet, but they are still very close to level 10, and that is of course that very much so dreaded double turn-in potential that Team Liquid has now. They're still a few short, but they are starting to get the few remaining ones that they need to make this a second Web Weaver.
The dreaded double turn-in. Sounds like a movie. Produced by Team Liquid, starring Hasuabs as they work on level 10 to get all their
starring
gems.
Hasuabs as Gul'dan and New Rock as Hanzo.
Cuts to a scene of Chris just shivering. He turned in twice. Not even my hungry-year-old Vala could stop it.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I don't know, man.
Cuts to a scene of Chris shivering in the corner. What?
You gotta have a shower in the background, knowing that he needs to go in the shower. Just cleanse it off himself. All right, 10 about to hit for Zealots.
Now it gets awkward.
12 more gems needed, and Team Liquid can power through on another turn-in. They're even setting up for a massive turn-in, too. Night Camp pushing in the middle, which will be helpful against the camp that Zelta picked up, especially with Hasu.
It's, by the way, noteworthy that it became awkward 2 minutes in, so that already shows pretty much what kind of effect you already had on me. That I didn't immediately pull that one, but yeah, I was like, no. Didn't get awkward at the start when you were talking about a weird movie. No, it got awkward 2 minutes.
I'm an aspiring cinematographer, okay? I think about the background, and the shower would look good in that movie, okay?
Yeah, it's a great storyline.
Mafio gets
here it is! The fear as he tries to go in. And the double stun as well, but this time nobody's there to capitalize on it. Great kill for Liquid once again, and they are only 12 away from getting another turn in. And it's looking good. They're still one short if they get all of these through, but Hasuabs is already on his way to deliver.
There it is. Last couple of gems. Bottom lane pushed out. Now the team should set up on the top side because that's being pushed in by Chris. If they can get pushed out, they can get a heck of value on this turn-in. Even a couple of forts, I would dare say, if Zealots are unable to force a fight. But they do have the tools here. They have Mosh Pit up and Leoric potentially done too.
It's, by the way, the first kill on the game against ETC here. So far, the teams have been dancing around each other for a long time. But now that second turn-in that you've been talking about is there. Also talking a bit about the quest progress. Hasuabs currently on his Echoed Corruption on level 1 is sitting at 29. We have Sport Billy with his hammer stats sitting at 18. So he needs a few more, 7 more to complete that, and 79 stacks on the level 4 of Malthael at this point, just to keep you guys a bit updated. Greymane has not yet completed his level 7 cocktail. Mopsio is 1 orb short of completing his level 1, and Junkrat is sitting at 43 stacks for his level 4 talent.
So Zealots doing a good job at defending so far. The fort in the middle taking some beating, but the top fort definitely dead. Can they handle their bottom fort? Yes, they get Greymane and Leo down there to clear it up. And Team Liquid, if they want that 13 quickly, they have the fort in the middle for the experience. But they don't need it. They can play this safe. They are content to play it slow. Watch out for this ETC engage that could be occurring.
I mean, right now, there's a lot of things that they can still pull off here. First of all, at the top, there's even now turrets lost. That's a problem.
Ouch.
The mid fort, it can fall at any point, but they have the potential to go for the boss, and they actually do that. This is something that the Zealots should anticipate. This question is still, do you really want to fight it against level 13 talents? And you probably don't want to do that. Main question for me is, will the Zealots turn in out?
Yeah.
Because they can, but it also means that their turn-in is very likely to not do as much, but it gives them an easy defense against the boss.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's kind of the choose the lesser of two poisons. Either go fight and lose all your gems, or choose a safe option, which is turn in, lose a few gems, but you're able to defend the boss. This is actually a really good trade for both Team Liquid and Zealots. Zealots able to at least defend the boss now, and Team Liquid removes comeback potential. Now there's no boss on the top side, and as long as they control the map and clear the web weavers, they get a few gems taken away from their opponents.
Yeah, so the one turn-in is not going to do too much. There's just no push potential for the Zealots. And yeah, that is good for Team Liquid in the sense that they of course remove those gems from their opponent without losing too much, but they also don't get enough out of their boss. But it's a trade-off that they're happy to take at this point, I feel. For the Zealots, it's also a bit of a win since it allows them to now play on 13 talents against their opponent. So it's an interesting setup that you always find yourself in. It's very risky to hold on to the gems and try to muster defense against the boss and then turn around and try again on the level 13 talent. So for now, both of them walk away and are absolutely okay with that trade-off. The Zealots here still behind, and their web weaver is currently still active, as Team Liquid is of course attempting to gather additional gems so that they can prepare for a third turn.
Yeah, Zealots are trying to keep Team Liquid in this area in the middle so they can have that web weaver on the top push up a little bit forward, but Team Liquid does a good job of bullying their way through on the left side. Usually here you would find your team trying to break down a turret while we have someone go defend the top lane, but Gold Damon's able to take care of it nicely and cleanly. So Zealots will have to just go ahead and continue to play safe until they can find a pick.
Yeah, already here comes Muradin, goes in, and we have Liquid starting to shock around here. Hazops, of course, still looking for an opportunity. So does Mopsio moving in. There's the root spot. Billy not forced to go into Avatar just yet, as Zarmany is trying to use the Ominous Rave to make sure that his opponent's team members don't have as much of a punch to them. Trying to reduce damage output a little bit. Good block down by Sport Billy as Hazops goes in with his drop on Gul'dan's damage and completes his quest talent.
I do love how Zealots are trying to force a fight. They know that a big heroic is down, so they're trying to force. But with the power side missing, Mopsio's getting chased back. He gets hit with an arrow and he gets focused down. Sport Billy turns around the Stormbolt looking at Leorg. Malthael with 3 prongs of Tormented Souls hitting multiple members. Leo falls. Looks like Chris is going to fall as well. Shad prays that he can escape, but the Lord of Death says nope, and Shad is going to fall too. 90
gems. They just lost 90 gems. Everybody died. Everybody chased down here. All started off with a good start on Nurok, and then Junkrat, just the Riptire, off in the wrong direction, didn't do too much, and they lost everybody there. 90 gems lost, and on this map, in this situation, that's a disaster.
Team Liquid starts the sequel. Triple turn-in, starring Hasselhoffs, getting the 3rd turn-in of the game right away. Gems being dropped off, Mercenary Camp's grabbed in the middle, and they are going to look for some keeps here. Maybe opening up some walls. Zealots still have a decent defense, but things are starting to look a little dire here.
Yeah, they definitely are. A 3-level advantage, make that 2.5. Nearly enough gems for another. They have enough gems for another turn-in, actually. And this is rough. This is really, really rough. The main problem is really losing the gems. If you lose out on the experience and you have to defend again, maybe even lose a keep, there's still some comeback potential. But Liquid hasn't lost a single structure yet. And at this point, how do the Zealots come back into this? Normally it's the gem count that allows you to make that comeback happen, but they lost everything.
And now Team Liquid is starting an avalanche of pushing. They have Mercenary Camps in the middle with the Knights. They have grabbed the Giants as well. They want to grab these at the right time so the Giants are pushing with the Web Weavers. And now they can dictate which lane they want to be in.
You want to be in the mid lane right now. You have the aura. At this point, you have the Night Camp coming in, you have the Web Weavers, and you have also the Spell Aura. You can just easily push in with this. If this doesn't net a keep, I would be surprised.
Well, let's see if they're able to defend it. The Zealots, that is, as the bottom lane being pushed in. I like how Murden's positioned also, by the way, on the bottom side. In case anyone does come up to defend that, he can push them away. Probably not kill, but that at least be threatening.
Was actually clever.
Yeah.
I did not consider that. That was pretty well done here by Junkrat.
Yeah.
Making sure that they get the aura out this fast, that was pretty cool.
Junkrat confirmed OP here. But they still have to deal with the Web Weaver as the Moonmaw
yeah, but that could save them the keep and probably will. I actually did not consider that. Looking at the setup, I mean, in hindsight, it's just like, okay, that was more or less Captain Obvious saying hello. But at the point when it happened, when I saw that massive wave move down, it did not occur to me. So that was really well done, making sure that the Knight goes down first, Aura is gone, and that saves them from this deadly push, and at least for now, saves the Keep. The Keep takes damage, especially the top one has taken a lot. And there comes also the Horrify that doesn't connect properly. ADR is still dropping very low, but he's not dying.
Yeah. I was trying to get him where he would come toward. Golden Corruption? Did he take a minion hit and then the Corruption finished him off? Is that what happened?
Not 100% on that. I thought he was fine.
Golden got
wrong.
The final hit. It wasn't a minion, but I think a couple minions hit him and then the Corruption finished him off. Wow.
Could be, yeah.
Unfortunate. Big Dragon Arrow come out in the top right corner as Team Liquid moves in for the boss. Tormented Souls being utilized to try and chase him down.
Yeah, it must have been the 16, the Ruinous Affliction that took him down here. I thought he was fine, but it was more than enough damage to drop him, and that is just initiating the end here. So yeah, Hazop's definitely making some plays. It looked like the Horrify would not be enough with the Corruption taken down, but thanks to the level 16 and the Ruinous Affliction, they were able to take Junkrat out, and then it was a 5 versus 4. They get another double kill setup. Top Keep is down, 19, nearly 20, and Boss is up on the map. What else do you want?
Boss will be focused down. Zealots are moving towards it, thinking about possibly contesting. They will not have their healer if they do move in, which would be a risky maneuver. But at the same time, your opponents are about to hit level 20. Zarmni charges forward a little too late. Ominous Wraith is showing where everyone's at. They're going to try and fight behind the boss, going straight for a hostile up. Zarmni taking damage. Mopsio will hit the Moshpit on the side, but the Ancestor healing and Rhaegar floating around a Thurna will keep him alive. Yeah,
at this point, this is, of course, just them desperately trying to somehow turn this around. A Hail Mary attempt by the Zealots, but with a 3-level lead and another double kill, we're seeing Team Liquid starting to move in. Another quick stun against Chris. Survives for now, thanks to Junkrat and Malthael, but the end is near as the boss moves towards the core. The Storm Talons are in the hands of Team Liquid, and they are going to make sure that we will have a 5th map between these two teams.
And I will welcome a 5th game here from Team Liquid and Zealots, because these matches have been spectacular to watch. The core continues to fall, 30, 20, 10, and 0. Team Liquid ties up the series, and we got a game number 5.
Great series.